first.
Great.
Again, we'll have low attendance because this was a bonus surprise day, but that's not a problem at all. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just appreciate, I'm sorry, somebody just came in. They're working downstairs still, so I'll have to kind of keep my ear to the ground, but
Oh, totally
But-
fine. If
Huh?
you want to, totally fine. That's not a problem at all.
yeah,
In fact,
well, we'll just, if they'll call me, I think if, oh, wait, let me see. what
yeah,
they-
just put yourself on mute, so.
Yeah. No, it's good.
focus on-
It's good. I'm just thrilled to do this, and I'm really trying to get back into the swing here. It's been crazy, but anyhow, this
Okay,
too
so-
will pass.
Yes, it
At some
will.
point.
It will. We have to keep on moving. So that's
Yes,
important.
exactly. So
right.
I told you about the lyric opera thing that I followed up, and they have another position there they want to talk
Yes.
to me about. So
That's wonderful.
yeah, I mean, I knew, that they'd filled it, but it doesn't matter. So maybe there's something better on the horizon.
Yes,
So
exactly.
I'm hoping to hear from them today, and then maybe I'll have an interview or at least some kind of exploratory call next week.
Great. Good, good. All
Yeah.
right, awesome. And then I've got Eileen coming from the waiting room.
Oh,
So
good.
we've got Eileen joining us as well. And
Yeah.
then I'll go ahead and I will get started here. So welcome everyone. This session is I like to call it my cliff notes or my summary of the entire masterclass. And if you are watching this and you're catching up on the replays, ideally, and I'll try to put it in my emails to everyone, watch this first. I often like to, when I read a book, I like to look at the table of contents. And then if there's a summary of the book, and sometimes there is, for example, one of the books I recommend, the 2-Hour Job Search, there's a quick start guide. It's kind of like a summary. So often it'll help your learning to read the summary first, because it gives you an overview, and then you can jump into the details. So even though this is really the last session for the masterclass this week, if you can watch this one first, if you don't, it's not the end of the world. I just think it could help your learning, with the masterclass content. So just wanted to throw that out there to you as an option. And let me just line up my little screen here. All right, so just to give you an overview, again, my summary. And then before I actually jump into the touching upon the key points, I wanted to remind you of a few things too, a couple of housekeeping things. So I am putting together a site for you. All right. I'm going to put the link of the site in the chat so you can grab it. So let me just do that right now so I don't forget. I'm going to grab that. But this site, this page, let's just call it a page. This page will be the place for you to it's one-stop shopping. It has all of the recordings. It also has, I'm very excited to share with you a video testimonial that I obtained from one of my most recent clients yesterday. So, and she landed her role in 6 weeks. So that was just great. She had a great experience, and I want you to watch it. It's a short video, but, and also too, she kind of gives her perspective as well. Because whenever I'm talking with someone who landed in a new role, I want to find out from them, what are the tips that you have to share with other people who are, searching for a role. So she does share that too. But yeah, I want you to take a listen to that and check that out as well, because I think you'll find that really helpful. So anyway, so that's one thing. So the landing page will have that video testimonial on there. It also is going to have, it does have a feedback form for you to check out too. All right. So it's got the videos for each one of the days that are clearly listed for you to watch. And then it has the video, the most recent video testimonial. And then it also has the workbook link. So if you needed to access that again, it does have that. It has the slide deck from all of the sessions. So the link, even if you want to go back to the slides, even though they are highlighted in each one of the videos, if you just want the slide deck, because Charles, one of our participants, had requested that, so I'm happy to share that with you. That is in the link as well. And then, but I guess the most important thing is I do want your feedback. The feedback form is near the bottom of the page. It's right after there's a little time clock at the end, a countdown clock. And then there's a button for you to submit your feedback. Okay. Now, what is the countdown clock for? The countdown clock is for when I first started this masterclass, and even before, I was stressing that the replays are available for a limited time. I want to encourage you, sometimes when we have infinite access to something, then we just procrastinate and we never really do it. I think it's important for us to have deadlines, number one. Okay, so that's the first part of it. The number two thing is, I really want you to be in action. So not only am I doing my summary today, but I'm trying to encourage you to be in action. And there's some tools I'm going to try to highlight to help you be in action. And even if it's a small action step is better than no action step. Okay. So, the key thing is, and this is another thing that is on this landing page that you'll see, if you have not done a career clarity call with me, you need to do one. Okay. Because this way we have one-on-one time together. It's free. It's totally complimentary, but I can give you specific feedback for you. All right. And then what I recommend as actions for you to take. So if you haven't done that, number one, make sure that you do that. And there's buttons on the page where you can click on that and you can schedule that. If you have done a career clarity call with me, or even if you're an existing client, well, if you've done a call with me already, let's do a follow-up call, because, and what I would recommend for that is that we have that follow-up call after you've listened to the content of the masterclass, because I want to see, okay, now that you've gone through the content, what are the best next steps to get you to your goal that you're looking for, whether it's landing that role, or maybe it's identifying it, getting the clarity on it, because that seems to be the two groups of people that I talk with, the people that are really wanting to land that ideal role within 90 days or less, or, a specific time frame, or they don't know what that next role is. They need the clarity on that. Okay. So I want you to, if you've done a call with me already, review the content, and then let's schedule a follow-up call. So that's what I want to do. And you can simply do that by replying to one of my emails and say, hey, Christy, remember we have done a career clarity call. I'd like to schedule a follow-up with you. Okay. And we can do that. So again, the feedback form, booking your career clarity call. Also the only other link that will be added to this is the updated resource list that I provided to you too. And I did provide that during one of the masterclass sessions, but I've been updating it and I want to make sure that you have the most updated one. Okay. So I'm going to finally put the link to this page into the chat so you can grab it. I'm going to do that right now. And then, of course, it will be in my emails to you as well. But even just go ahead and click on the link now. You don't have to look at it now, but at least you'll have it open in your browser. And that way you won't miss out on that. So that's what I encourage you to do. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to sharing my screen with you and giving you the overview too. Let me just do this. Where's my share? Here it is. Okay. All right, so I did my housekeeping things. Okay, so I covered that. That's important. I have my little checklist here that I want to make sure I'm covering everything with you. Um, this is very important too. I do need to cover this as well. There is another resource, another free resource to help you. It's not from me, it's someone that I've worked with and collaborated with before. She's amazing. And it's an area that I touched upon maybe slightly. I think it might have been in yesterday's session or the day before, but it's about your appearance, your, the clothes that you wear and how you carry yourself, I guess. That is part of your brand. I talk about your brand constantly, but an important part of your brand is what you wear, because what you wear impacts how you feel about yourself. It impacts your confidence and how you carry yourself. And some of you listening right now might not be really happy with your wardrobe. Or maybe you're just not happy with your clothes, or maybe it's time, maybe you haven't done a refresh. Maybe you're like me, you're constantly cleaning out your closet, but you don't seem to make a lot of headway. So anyway, what this resource is, Sue's Solari, but I like to call her Susie. So, and she'll be fine if you call her Susie. But Susie Solari is an amazing stylist, and she helps corporate leaders really feel good about their appearance and their brand. And she's an amazing, amazing stylist. And her masterclass is next week. And it's great because actually, maybe I'll even share that so you can see that, because I think often that's more helpful if you can see that. I'll try to go to that screen so you can view it. Here we go. Let's see, let me try to expand this. Okay, so I should be able to share this easily with you now. Let's see, here we go. Great. Okay, so this is the information on Susie's 5-day workshop next week. And I love it because it's so practical. Everyone needs this. It's how to create the perfect capsule wardrobe. And I love how she says, is style a business decision? Yes, it is. So you want to feel confident in how you show up. So no matter what your situation, if you're going to have to be going back into the office more, or just starting to go back into the office, traveling again, or if you just want to really upgrade your work wardrobe without all the stress, Susie makes it extremely easy. And because I think when we're not comfortable with something or we're not as knowledgeable, it takes us longer. And to save you time and to save you money too, because another great thing about Susie is she really values sustainability, which is more and more an important topic for all of us to be aware of. So, anyway, it starts on Monday. It's October 3rd. We're already in October. So I will put information on this in the Facebook group. And I'll make a note to include it in my emails for you too, because this is a resource that you don't want to miss. And I know I'm almost positive Susie does record her sessions as well, because she understands a lot of her clients are very busy. They have a lot going on, and to help you to give you added flexibility, she is recording the sessions. So yeah. So anyway. All right, so now I can go back to, but I had to share that resource. I actually meant to share it yesterday in the bonus session, and I did not. So I'm sharing it with you today. Okay.
So, Christine,
Yes, Jane, go ahead. Yes.
Will you be sharing the link to that? I think that would be really helpful.
Yes.
Okay.
I will. And
Okay.
actually, I could do it right now. Let me try to see. Let me try to put it in the video right now. Hold on. I had it right here. Yeah, because and with it being fall again too,
Yeah.
I mean, I still haven't, I always have to go through my summer clothes, like purge them, pack them away, and then pull out the fall and winter stuff.
Mhm.
And it's really important to, do that and to do it quickly. So I've been putting it off. I've been procrastinating about it, which is not a good thing. It's not very helpful. So let's see. Why am I not finding
Well, I've
her?
been doing it because I had boxes underwater. So
Yes.
in my winter, fall coats and I I don't know if I'm gonna be able to save everything, but it's a good opportunity, I guess, to purge. So,
Okay. I got the link. So I'm going to drop this in the chat too. So thanks so much,
Great.
Jane, for
yeah.
asking for that. And this way people can grab it. Right. So there that is.
Good.
So you can grab it. And then now I'll do my screen share. Oh, wait, I'll go back to this and then I should be able to jump to my presentation. I'm getting better at my screen sharing in Zoom.
Yeah.
So this is good. The
It's very
practice makes
smooth.
perfect. I'm trying to after all this time. Okay, so here's my presentation. Okay, all right, great. So for the summary portion, again, everyone needs a career plan. It is crucial. It really is. And one of my favorite quotes, another favorite quote that I have for all of you is actually from another book that's on the resource list. And I just realized that I wanted to go over that one with you all too. So, oh, now I'm having issues with my screen share. Here we go. We'll do this. Okay, so, and it was the quote that I had on the registration page. Here it is. Okay, so now I have this. And it's from the book it's one of the newer books that I've seen. And it's Happy Pocket Full of Money. It's got a great title. And the author is David Cameron Gikandi. And my coach introduced me to this book. And what I love about this is this quote is even more, this is like my number one quote, I would say. And then that Oscar Wilde quote that I started day one with is my number two quote. But this is really more, as my program has evolved and changed, this is really more the cornerstone of my program. And it's do not live by accident or default, live by design. Design your life using goals, visualization, imagination, and plans. So there we have it, plans. We need a career plan for our work. And this is David Cameron Gikandi's way of saying you need a career plan. So all done consistently, daily, clearly, accurately, and with details. So not even just drafting up the plan, but then taking action on it and doing it every day, doing the work every day. That is what is key. So just had to squeeze that quote in there really quickly because it was a new ad for me, since that was a new book that I encountered this year because of my coach. So, and here's the Oscar Wilde quote. So again, it's essential for you to have clarity on your brand. And because if you don't have the clarity on your brand, how are you going to be able to communicate it? And you need to be you. We don't want you to be someone else. We need you to be you. That is crucial. So we talked about reflection, and even drawing from resources that you've encountered in your work. Like maybe you've done assessments in the past. If you have those filed away, pull them out, look at them again, and reflect on them and see what they have told you. And then also too, you can do an assessment right now. My resource document has assessments that you can do. The number one that I recommend is the Clifton Strengths Finder assessment, because it's simple and easy to use. But it's good to take a snapshot, not only look at past assessments, but try to do a snapshot of where you're currently at, and then to spend the time reflecting on it. And we take those assessments and then we identify our strengths. What are our top 5 strengths? And then from there, we build our stories, our accomplishment stories. And those are what make you memorable. Again, yesterday's bonus session, Jane was practicing her elevator pitch, and she talked about her US experience and her international experience. And it still sticks in my mind. I remember when I first met Jane, or I got to know her more, her talking about her experience living abroad in Australia. So again, you want to pull out the pieces of your story so you are more sticky and you are more memorable. And another great thing that Jane shared yesterday was, I'm not picking on Jane, she shared some really good things that were very helpful. Her daughter-in-law received a job offer recently without interviewing, and I don't even think she put together her resume, because this was a company that she had talked with 3 years ago, and they remembered her. And she did a great job of circling back. We know that so many people, so many job applicants get ghosted in the interview process, which is awful. No one should ever be ghosted. So we need to rise above that and close the loop. Whatever we can do to close the loop is a good thing. And I encourage you to do that. And think about it. When you reach your goal, when you do land that great next job, you'll need to close the loop. You'll need to close the loop with any companies that you had in play to let them know, hey, it was great talking with you. I did land a new job, and please, let's stay in touch. I enjoyed talking with you. Let's stay connected. And if I can ever be of assistance to you, please let me know. How many people do you think are doing that? Not a lot. Too many people just get too caught up in, just not closing the loop. But it leaves a great impression when an employer closes the loop with you, and then when you close the loop with an employer. So remember that. 1/3 of our lives are spent at work. So we want to make sure, again, why wouldn't we have a career plan for our work? Of course we should. And then again, we want to have the clarity on what our ideal role is. That is important, because if you don't know the next step, I don't expect you to know the entire staircase. Very rarely do we see the entire staircase, but I would like you to at least know the next step. Getting back to the analogy I just used, the entire staircase. You should have a general vision though, and that's why the reflection is so important. What is your overall vision for your life? Where do you want to be, at the end of your life? Think about it that way. I'm not trying to be morbid. And one of the books that I recommended during our sessions this week was the book by Bronnie Ware, The 5 Regrets of the Dying. It's 5 or 6. Sorry, I'm not remembering the exact title. The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. So that is really important that you have, so you keep on moving. All right. You want to have that clarity on your next role. It's important. So again, overall, the masterclass, we talked about reflection, we talked about having a plan, and we talked about connecting. So those were the things that we covered. And we talked about the inner critic and the inner mentor. So we have all of these voices that we hear in our mind. And then we also have the outside world, all of the noise that's coming at us. So bottom line is you want to tune into your inner mentor. And by you tuning into your inner mentor, that's how you can have that vision for your life. Where do you want to go? What do you want to accomplish? What is your legacy? What is all that good stuff? What do you want to accomplish? That's important. Also, the number one goal setting mistake is to not really listen to your inner mentor and to be distracted and hear all of the noise and not be focused on that. So again, we really want to tune into our inner mentor and be focused on that so we can have what our vision is, our long-term vision is. So that's good. And with your reflection, you want to think about what is your main goal? Why is this important to you? Why is this your goal? And how can this be attained? That is critical. The career goal card, make sure you use that. That's in your workbook, but that will help you with that next step, that next goal that you're working toward. That is part of your overall vision. And then we have the QR codes that are, to make it easy for you to grab these resources. So those were in the workbook as well. And then our day 2, we talked about the plan, the career plan, and what the essential elements are of a career plan. Now, your career plan, it may or may not have a job search in there. But even if you are totally happy in your current role, you may still want to be open to other opportunities for growth, opportunities to stretch yourself. And your LinkedIn profile is a key part of that strategy. So people are reaching out to you regarding the opportunities that you are interested in. So that's a key thing to keep in mind. If you are doing a job search, obviously you want your resume and your LinkedIn profile, your cover letter, your follow-up email templates. You want all of that to reflect your brand. That is really important. And then your target company list, that is crucial as well. You want to make sure that even, again, if you're not actively looking for a new role, just as like if you invest in the stock market, you probably have companies that are on your watch list. Why wouldn't you have a watch list of potential employers just to keep up on these companies? What are they doing? What's going on? And then connection. We spent a lot of time on connection in day 3 of the masterclass. So that was on Wednesday. And you shouldn't, please never, ever apply for a job without trying to make a connection too. Ideally, you want to only apply for jobs where you have an existing connection there who can refer you, who can be a referral for you. They're an advocate for you, okay? I know that there are companies out there that you may want to apply to, have a great opportunity that they posted, but you may not have any connections there. Then you need to do the work to get a connection there, a first degree connection there as quickly as possible. And you want to focus on who the decision makers are. So the managers that are hiring, the leaders that are hiring for the position that you are going after. Who are those decision makers? That's who you want to connect with, ideally. Okay. Because again, you need an advocate. Now, if someone would be a peer for you at they're more at the same level that you would be at, that's okay. That's not bad. I mean, again, they can be an advocate for you, but if you can get a decision maker, that would be ideal. And then, also to talking about the steps in your career plan. So this slide really was, all the steps. Managing your mindset is, if anything, maybe in the future, I would have a whole session just dedicated to mindset. And this is why I am obtaining my mindset certification. And I should have that, my coaching certification as a mindset coach by the end of this year. So I think it should be done by November. But why is that important? It's important because I think Thomas Edison is the best example. I'm not sure how many of you know, but Thomas Edison, one could say that he failed over 10,000 times in inventing electricity, or just in harnessing it in the light bulb for us. And but he didn't get discouraged. Even though he made several mistakes, he never got discouraged, and he kept focused. And because of that, he was able to make his vision a reality. So that's important with your job search, especially when you have challenges. You may have weeks that are a week, and if we're working together, we're doing everything we can to minimize those weeks where you have low activity. So yeah, you're looking at the facts, you're looking at your week, you didn't get the interviews that you wanted, you didn't send out a lot of resumes, whatever it is. It's easy to get stuck in that, to say, oh, this is my reality. I'm not making any headway. But I don't want you to get stuck in it. I don't want you to linger on that. I don't want you to ruminate. You can look at it, you can recognize it, you can see it what it is, but then you need to be focused on your goal. And I want you to really think and believe that the goal is already achieved, that you have already landed that next role. And it also feels better too. It's a lot more motivating to really think, I have achieved this. I want you to have faith in yourself. So that's why that's the number one component of the career plan, because it's like the underlying foundation in you having a successful career plan. So again, star stories, that's what makes you memorable and sticky and stand out, your brand stand out. The job search is a component of your career plan, a target company list, a connection, and then also to receiving the compensation, the benefits, the growth, all of those things, all of those great things that you receive from having a full career and exciting work. And then we did touch upon about being in action. It's important for you to be in action. Don't become an information junkie, because information isn't really, it goes to waste when we don't take action on it. And then also too, there's this knowing doing gap. You need to recognize that when that happens to yourself, we all have experienced it. I've even experienced it as an HR leader. A simple example for you is when a manager has an employee that is constantly coming in late. And they know that they need to be on time. They know what they need to do, yet they're not doing it. Why is that? That's a perfect example of the knowing doing gap. And that's why coaching can be so powerful to help you bridge that knowing doing gap, because we get stuck and we can't see why we're stuck. All right, moving onward. So day 3 was focused on connecting. So, and again, this slide was to just illustrate that even things may appear to be linear, but my program is not linear. So connection is even a piece that you are using during your reflection when you're contemplating your next steps in your career. Should I do a job search? What is my next role? What should I do? Connection can really help you with that, with answering those questions that you may have that pop up during reflection. And I like to say connecting versus networking. It just sounds much better. It really does. And please use these worksheets that are in the workbook to help you to really use your connection skills better and to develop them, because that's why they're there. Here's my LinkedIn checklist for you too. So again, to have as current a profile picture as possible. I recommend you, if you can do it on an annual basis, that's a good thing. And professional headshots are key. And then, really look at your current connections periodically too, because they change they evolve. If you haven't talked with a current connection for a while, or if you don't even remember that person, it's okay to remove them. So it's not a problem at all, but you want to make sure that your current connections are fresh, and that they haven't gone stale. Recommendations, look at your recommendations. For me, like, try to look at them at least on a quarterly basis. Like, I have this new testimonial from a client that I'll be sharing with you, but I'm also going to be asking Heather to to do a recommendation on my LinkedIn profile as well. So and you just need to keep that in mind, because you want to have at least one recommendation from this current year, and especially as 2022 is coming to a close. Your banner photo, your about section, those are all important as well. And even your number of connections, just to be trying to grow that gradually. I have shared this with many of you, but this is the diagram of my program. So on one page, so that way you can see the three components of reflect, plan, and connect. Reflect is the foundation, but they do all work together. It's really not linear, but it's how we get out of the work dissatisfaction trap into more fulfilling work for ourselves. So that is my diagram for you. And then we talked about Seabiscuit, how is a great example. This is really to illustrate the power of connection, because so much more can be done. We see it in teams like the Chicago Bulls and Seabiscuit. When individuals come together, they create something a lot more powerful than what we can do by ourselves. Check out the audiobook. The movie is good, but I feel like the book, actually reading the book, is the best thing. Right. And then these were in the workbook again. I touched upon those. And that is basically what we have here. So yeah, so the bonus section tomorrow. Let's see, what is this? There we go. I'm not sure why that came up there. All right, so that was the overview. A few other things before we close out that I wanted to touch upon with you. And I have my checklist here. So I talked about the landing page. I did put that in the chat. So check out the landing page. It has all of those resources for you. And then the only other link that I will be adding to the landing page is the the updated resource document for you. And then the last thing is that I wanted to touch upon is I'm able to offer now a broader, like more support. So my main program that I'm putting together that I have now for clients is the first 90 days focused on your most immediate goal, which typically for most of you is landing your next job, or it could be identifying what that next job is. Okay. And then, so let's say we do accomplish that in 90 days. Then the rest of this program would be to support you in the next 9 months in your new role, because being in changing jobs is one of the most stressful things that we experience in our life. It's up there with the death of a loved one or moving. And I think it's important to support you as you get up to speed in your new role and you get acclimated. So that is additional support that is available to you in this broader program. And because of this program, I was able to start a relationship with a third-party funding company. And what their purpose is to provide funding to prospective clients of mine that would like to work with me for a year. So, and instead of paying for the entire program right before we start by working with this funding company. Basically, you're stretching the cost of it over a 2 to 3 year period for about as little as $270 a month. So that just kind of gives you an idea. Think of it as like getting your MBA for your work, for your career plan, but it's for you, for your career and for your development. Instead of getting a college loan, you're able to invest in yourself. So I'm happy to give you more details on that, and if it's something that you would qualify for. And that's why we could cover that in a one-on-one discussion. So it's not so great to cover that in a group setting, but if you have done a career clarity call with me already and you are interested in that option, then we can talk about that further for you. Okay. And then we can find out if it's something that you qualify for and then go further. So that's basically it. I'm looking at my checklist for everything that I wanted to cover with you. And so I really enjoyed our time together. Were there any questions at this point? I wanted to give you one last chance to ask me any questions.
Thank you, Christine. I'll talk to you later. I'll schedule a follow-up with you.
Okay, that would be wonderful. That would be great. And Jane, it looks like you don't have any questions either. It looks like you are okay.
No, I think I'm okay. And we'll be talking.
Yes, that sounds great.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
all right.
All right.
Well, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed doing this masterclass. And it's interesting when you do something that you really enjoy, the time just flies. And man, did the time fly. So
that was helpful and very good. Thank you so much.
Thanks for your feedback. And make sure you do that feedback form on that landing page and have a wonderful weekend. All right.
You
Take
too.
care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.